I'm going to tell you a little story, how I started visualizing. I have realized that I have actually visualized all through my life. I've been very much a big dreamer, and I've always created these beautiful pictures in front of me. And it's been so interesting actually that the moment when I started to visualize with purpose, as I already mentioned, so many people visualize, but they don't do it in their advantage. I did visualize, and I visualized positive things. But when I actually became aware of the visualization, it was so interesting to see how many things I've already created in my life through visualization without even knowing it. One example was that when I first arrived in London, I decided to have this adventure and I went to London. I said to my parents that I have people there I know, but the truth was I was 20 years old, I didn't know anyone, and I arrived in London. And first I was thinking okay, now here I am, what should I do? And I'm in Victoria Station. It's very near Buckingham Palace. So I decided that to make things easier, I put my bag into the baggage holder in a locker room, and I'm gonna walk to the Buckingham Palace. And I said to myself that, you know what, even if I'm here only one day, at least I've seen the castle. So I'm walking towards the Buckingham Palace. And I go there and I sit there and I look at the castle, and I really am grateful that I have arrived in London. And I'm looking at all of those tourists around me, and I'm wondering what are they doing here? What are their stories? A little bit daydreaming. And when I'm actually starting to walk back from Buckingham Palace to the Victoria Station, I'm walking past this very beautiful hotel. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, that is so beautiful, because I'm just looking through this a big glass doors which are leading into the lobby, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, that is so amazing, looks so beautiful. And it's this 5-star hotel. And while I'm walking, I'm visualizing that that's where I'm spending my night. And I'm just like, oh my God, so nice, I'm gonna check in and then I'm gonna get my room, take this nice bath. I probably have a top room, up in a highest floor so I can see the London. And I'm just creating these visual pictures in my head. But the truth is, I had so little money. I was only 20 years old, and I came to London as an adventure. So it was really something that wasn't in my price range on that moment to take a room on that hotel. But anyway, I visualized that. And then I'm walking back to the Victoria Station. And when I arrive in the station, I'm thinking, okay, now I need to actually figure out where I'm spending my night. So I'm standing there and a little bit probably looking lost because I have no idea where to actually find this cheap hostel I need. And while I'm standing there with my little bit of confused face, one man steps close to me and says, excuse me, you look a little bit confused, can I help you? And I'm like, oh, no, it's okay. And he's like, oh, but it's no problem. You look a little bit lost. Can I help you? And I said, you know what? I'm just thinking, where can I find a cheap hostel? Because I just arrived in London and I need a room. And he's like, aha, you need a hotel room. So crazy, because I actually have a room paid by my company in this hotel nearby, but I'm leaving London today to Glasgow for a week. So if you want, you can take my room, because it's paid there anyway already by the company I work for, and I need to leave. And I was like, oh my God, that sounds so crazy, but yeah, okay. And still being a little bit cautious, but I decided to go with him to the hotel. He introduces me to the reception and says I already said that I'm leaving to Glasgow, but this girl is actually gonna take my room for a week. And I'm a little bit scared. I'm thinking what's happening? And the girl in reception said, okay, that's great. Yeah, what's your name? We're checking you in instead. And he leaves. And I'm just standing there thinking is it real? I'm in that hotel. What I was dreaming about, walking past and visualizing that I'm staying there. And now I'm actually staying here. Is it truly real? And I get my key. I take a lift up to the top floor. And I get this suite. I'm not even joking with you. I got a suite in this hotel on the same day. I go in, I lock the door, I even double lock because I'm not sure. Maybe he comes back. But the truth is, like, I went down again and I spoke to the reception, and they said that this gentleman, this businessman, he comes to this hotel all the time, and often he has to leave between his stay. So this is absolutely the case, that he has gone to the other business trip and he's coming back. But he's not coming back till another week. So absolutely enjoy. And this is now no tricks here. This is how it is. And so I go back to the room and I feel really calm, and I'm truly enjoying this night. Then I sleep, and in the morning I even took a bath, and then I really was like just so grateful for this moment. And I'm thinking, like, you know what, I can't really take advantage of his hospitality. Like, even if he's not here all week, like, I can't stay here all week. So I actually decided to leave on that day, but I was just feeling truly grateful that he gave me his room. Like, he had nothing to lose, I understand that, and he was not paying for it, but that didn't matter, just a gesture that he was seeing that I needed it and he wanted to do that. So I left a thank you note, and I left the room and I left the hotel and I started my adventure in London. But I learned something very big from that, and later, a couple years later, I truly understood what I was doing with this visualization. But on that moment, when I was visualizing staying there, I was just feeling all the feelings you could feel when you're visualizing, and that is the power of visualization. And that's why I want you to also start finding things from your life, what you have actually visualized into your life. Maybe there is something you can think of already. If you can't think of anything, then I would really like you to start doing small tests. I was, for example, in one period in my life doing tests with driving a car and parking. I was living in an area in Tallinn that it was so hard to find parking, but I was visualizing every time I was driving home that there is one parking place for me. And I'm telling you, like magic, every single time, there was either one place or there was just one place opening when I was driving in. And it was so powerful, and I was really testing my visualization powers on that point. And I was trying to understand if it is working. So start small, start with small things and small situations, and you start to believe it more that the visualization works. And when you're doing these big visualizations and you starting to feel all of those good feelings, in each visualization, add to that, add small details, touches, textures, and you're starting to actually see how things are starting to unfold in real life as well.